Paragraph 299. The Ministry of Finance has issued commitment authorization for the Federal Infrastructure Project and the Big Push program.
Yeah.
So these are roads that you are beginning.
Yes.
So Caleb, this is paragraph 299.
299, yes.
Roads that you are initiating.
Yes.
List them for me.
So construction of a new bridge on the Oti River at Dambai.
Okay.
There's rehabilitation of Wahan Road, upgrading of Tumu Hamile Road, upgrading of Tumu Han Laura Road, reconstruction of Navrongo Tumu Road, rehabilitation of Techiman and Konsia Wenchi Road. There is Wenchi Sola Road. Now, construction of Sunyane Outer Ring Road, construction of Kumase Outer Ring Road, that's the eastern quadrant. There's the rehabilitation of the Bintri Nyangpanduri Road, rehabilitation of Dode Pepeso Nkwanta Road, rehabilitation of Atimpoku Esikuma Junction Road, rehabilitation of Esikuma Junction Enyerawasi Road, thank you, reconstruction of Enyerawasi Ho Titrinu Road. Titrinu, thank you. There's the upgrading of Akosombo Jekiti Kodikope Road. I know that one.
I
It's
see
very
the
bad.
Deputy Minister's hand in this pipe.
Yeah, it's a very bad road.
There's another one.
There's a Sukuma to Enumboso Palima Road.
Deputy Minister.
Adome Bridge. Oh, this is constituency. Akwamufie Road.
Deputy Minister.
And then there's Hong Petoy Road.
British Sky.
Yeah, Petoy Afia Danyigba Road.
British Sky.
Afia Danyigba Penny Road.
My hometown.
Penny Aflao Road.
British Sky.
Dualization of Winneba Mankasim Road.
That's what I was the Minister Road.
There's dualization of Cape Coast Takrady Road. Rehabilitation of Mankasim Ejumako Breman Esukuma Agona Swedro Road. This one Swedro Confederation. Yeah. There's rehabilitation of Tema Aflao Road Section 1. Reconstruction of Dodowa Afienya Dowenya Road. There's upgrading of Oyibi Apollonia Afienya Road. There is the construction of Enchi Elubo Road. Dadiaso Akontombra Road is here. Upgrading of Ajofwa Osei Kojo Chrome Road. Upgrading of Enchi Kojoro Pechi Road, forgive me. There's upgrading of Bediakon Junction, Camp 15, Seshi, Adabo Chrome.
So the question is, these are 32 roads. You have 13.8 billion cedis for Big Push. Will you be able to do all these roads in 4 years?
Yes.
You are sure of this?
100%. 100%. That is not something to worry about. 13 is just for year 1.
Okay.
You have year 2, you have year 3, you have year 4.
So most of this will be 4-year projects?
Yeah, most of I think 3 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, we should finish these roads.
Because under the same Big Push,
yes.
you have now listed
the ones that we have
13
added.
roads
Yes,
that are
added. We'll fund it. I say we're going to fund it for a number of reasons. We have 13.9 billion now. Okay. And we expect revenue over performance this year. Okay. Any additional revenue will be earmarked to support this.
So you are committed to roads?
You see, Bernard, you have been maybe crusading for good roads in this country. And yesterday I said on one platform that learning from the Chinese, they say if you want to get rich, build road first. Why should you be staying in traffic sometimes for 2 hours? You burn hard-earned foreign exchange. Your man hours go down. I mean, you more or less you don't become productive or efficient any longer. So the nature of the roads will not only be roads that we are building, you're also generating employment, you are building growth in the economy. And I remember under Gordon Brown, the former Chancellor for Great Britain, one of his theories when the country went on a recession is that let's build roads. And we build roads is going to bring about growth and all. So it's a growth pool. And it's also going to create jobs, and we're going to use it to let's
deal now with the fundamentals You listed all your
Brother,
growth.
please, the 13 under the big push.
Yeah.
Some names it didn't come and people are asking. I think it's
Sorry.
taken care of.
So do that.
That's
Do
very
the
quickly.
13.
So there is rehabilitation and upgrading of Kaswa Winneba Road,
Mm-hmm.
of Fankon Sawam Road, Dua Carriage, Takrade Agona Junction Road,
Mm-hmm.
Swami Interchange and local roads are here. National Route N18 Wahan Road is here. There's upgrading of Tumu, Chuchuliga, Navrongo, including construction of 36 kilometer span reinforced concrete bridge over the Kanyibie River and 24-meter span reinforced. That's details of that project. Navrongo Chuchuliga Sandema Road, rehabilitation of Tepagosu Road, Hohoi Jasikan Road, Nkwanta Oti Damanko Road, reconstruction of Havel Hohoi Road, Adenta Dodowa Road dualization is here, and the reconstruction of Jine Sampa Road. So that takes care of the 13. Yeah.
Now, you listed the fundamental. Thank you for this. The fundamentals. GDP growth is going better than you anticipated. Inflation has come down from 23 to 13. Exchange rate, the currency has strengthened against its major trade partners. You've also gotten a longer import cover than you anticipated. First question, is 6 months not too short to begin to get excited about these?
Okay. First of all, I wouldn't say I'm excited. I can only say that I'm happy. I'm happy because things are pointing to the right directions, and our economic model is working. And I would be worried by now if, after all the work we put in place, you are not seeing results. I'm seeing results, so I should be happy. But let me say, we are not out of the woods. I will never say this, that we are out of the woods at this stage. I think what I've seen is that I can see that hope is in sight. And if hope is in sight, it gives me some joy that at least what we inherited and where we are going, we are seeing some results. And we believe we just have to push. This has only encouraged us as a government to be doing well and to continue the path that we have taken. And I strongly believe that from where we are, all what we need to do is to continue pushing, and I'm sure by the end of the year, the results will be clear for all of us.
How confident are you that, for example, the disinflation process we've seen is a result of something you did? I'm asking this because I looked at the Monetary Policy Committee's rates. They haven't really reduced them. Between January and now, the figure is around 27, 28. In fact, they maintained it in the last announcement. Yet inflation has come down from 23 to 13. The currency also has appreciated significantly. All right, the CD is now trading around 10.4 compared to the 15, 16 it was previously. So is it that the problem was a fiscal problem, which is why even though the monetary people haven't really changed what they are doing, we are seeing this strengthening. So the inflation is coming down, and there's also exchange rate appreciation.
I think yesterday I made this point. And if you look at point 26 of my speech, I think page 7 of this speech, I made a point there. And I tried to track the root cause of the 2022 economic crisis. And I said that the root cause of the 2022 economic crisis can directly be traced to the overbearing fiscal dominance by the previous administration. And it was backed by reckless spending and corruption. And as I've said, the fiscal is everything. And I also went on to say that the fiscal situation at the time spilled over into the monetary and the external sector, causing rapid depreciation of the Ghana cedi. And so you can have the best monetary policy. It won't work if your fiscal situation is overbearing. So the root cause of all of this is the fiscal. And so, yes, the monetary is complementary. The monetary will support, but the monetary alone cannot do it. The fiscal must lead for monetary to be able to complement. The central bank's policy will certainly not work if I was reckless and if I was just spending and I was doing things anyhow. There was no way the cedi could have appreciated, and there was no way inflation could have come down. And so we complement each other. And so I've always said this, and I track the root cause, and I've always tracked this. And this is not the first time I'm talking about what happened in 2020.
But there's a big concern about, so I get the inflation one.
Yes.
There's a big concern about the exchange rate on two levels, that there seems to be such a big gap between the Bank of Ghana's rate and the market rate within the black market. For example, the cedi and the dollar is around 10.4. Most people will tell you that on the market, you will not get it below, in some places, even 12. So there's a big gap. That's number one. Number two, there's a concern about the intervention of the central bank in the FX market. The IMF released some information mentioning the amount that the central bank had intervened. And the suggestion was that the amount was too much too soon because they were trying to compare to previous quarters. Indeed, Imani has written an article that says that Ghana's managed interbank rate distorts currency value, masking weak economic fundamentals. It urges long-term reform, productivity, trade diversification, and transparent industrial policy to build a generally strong market-reflective cedi. The option is that they don't feel like the 10 to 12, the 10.4 we are saying is real. So,
Okay.
so if you can deal with all that.
Okay. Thank you very much for this question. I think it's excellent. Bernard, let me make this point. I disagree with those who are saying that the central bank shouldn't have intervened. You need to first of all find out, before you draw conclusion, find out whether they intervene at the same time burning the safety lines of the country, largely reserves. That wasn't the case. This is a central bank that, for example, between January to June, they've added $2 billion plus to your gross international reserves after intervening. The target from the IMF was 473 additional. They've increased it to 2.6. They've done, from 473 million, according to the IMF program, you should be building up 473 million, but they ended up building up 2 billion. After the so-called intervention that people are talking about. So what is the issue? There's no issue. In the past, for example, this year, we saw the trade surplus increasing by about 300%. The gold board alone this year, this first 6 months of the year, brought 5.1 billion. A year last year, they brought under 2 billion. So they've brought $3 billion more. The central bank has taken 2 billion as reserves, and they've used 1 billion to support the currency for Ghanaians to have a relief. And people are saying it's managed. Those who are saying it's managed, they are failing to understand one thing. They are using the old model of the state, where you have a way of accumulating reserves, seasonalities, and how you build it. But they are forgetting that something new has happened. There's a new gold board. You are not plugging its impact. If you go back and plug impact of the gold board as against the gold that has been smuggled over the years, the cedi clearly would have been doing better by now. And so I completely disagree. I would be concerned, obviously, if the central bank intervened at the same time depleting reserves. But they have not depleted reserves. They have accumulated reserves. In fact, we inherited 8.9 billion. They've moved it to 11.2. 11.2. We inherited 4 months of import cover for 8 months. 6 months. They've added 0.8 months. Almost 1 month of import cover. By the end of the year, we expect reserves to hit 5 months and more. And so that is not a concern. In fact, IMF reported on the amount, but I did not see them complain.
Yeah, they did not. But they
did not complain.
When you look at, of course, when you look at the comparison to previous years, that's where it looked very big.
Yeah, but previous year we had no gold board. And look at previous year's reserve accumulation over the period, as against this time the what do you call it, reserve accumulation. When the matter came and impressions were created that IMF had complained, I reached out to the IMF res rep. And I said, have you guys complained? He said, I'm surprised that they are attributing this to us.
It was sort of misreported.
Yeah, it was misreported.
No, it was misinterpreted.
Misinterpreted. I'll put it that way.
The fact of what the IMF said is true. What it means is the issue. The other question is that it seems as if the reserve accumulation has been based on gold for reserves. And a lot of the benefit we are seeing is because of the gold price.
No.
Sorry, okay, let me qualify that. Gold price plus the fact that the board has been able to
Accumulate more
the
gold, yes.
So there are two factors. So if
Yes.
the gold price collapses,
Yes.
your strategy will suffer.
Okay, so we
No, you
as
need to
you said,
concede- you need to
let
concede
me no, I can't concede that. So for example, the first 6 months of last year, they produced gold of 21. The previous administration,
Yeah.
gold from the small scale was 21
Yeah.
tons. The same 6 months this year, gold 55.1 tons.
So there's a volumes issue there.
Volumes issue, 100% increase.
Plus the value too.
The value, if you add the value, is 180% increase.
So Ghana's currency strengthening has been based on these two factors.
But it was a deliberate policy from government.
One is in your control, one is not in your control.
Okay, one is not in your control,
So
one
the
is in your
price.
control. Just like oil is in your control and it's not in your control. So when it is good, you should take advantage. And when it's not good, you build enough reserves as buffers to be able to.
But if you
deal
take
with
all
it.
the credit and say it is your smartness, if the gold price collapses and your currency is suffering,
It
should
is
we blame you?
It is my smartness because I've increased the gold volumes from 21 to 55 in 6 months.
And by the way, we don't know whether all that gold is coming from legally mined sources too.
Well, the question here is that all of that were smuggled.
True, but and the government has also promised to clamp down on
And-
illegally mined
Yes,
gold.
of course, we are clamping
So
down.
I'm trying to say to you that whilst we are happy with the currency strengthening, the factors for it is probably maybe only 50% within your control.
Oh, but let me.
And even that
okay.
50% in your control, if the push for galamsey to reduce continues, and if the gold price collapses, I'm not a doomsday prophet. I'm just saying that
of
we are
course.
trying to be
But-
realistic here. If the clamp down on galamsey continues and some of the small scale mining suffers, plus the gold price falls, then you are going to have trouble with your currency.
So let me put it this way. We looked at what the analysts are projecting from international gold price, and Goldman Sachs wrote an article. They did that, a number of them, JP Morgan and all. Everyone is projected that gold price will stay above 3,000 from now to 2027.
So you are pretty sure the prices.
I know the prices will hit 3,000 plus from now to 2027.
Okay.
And based on that, we've made an analysis on that. And it's not coming from only one source, from Goldman Sachs, from JP Morgan, and from other places.
All right.
And we know for sure that we can plug into 3,000.
Let's deal with two quick issues before we go.
dollars.
Financial sector cleanup. You say you've revamped NIB, you've injected capital, they have a positive capital adequacy ratio position, which is great. You compare that to the previous administration where you said they were collapsing banks. But there's a concern that for some of the recent developments in the sector, for example, the Unibank, the Attorney General is telling us that they are paying 60% of the amount that they are supposedly owing, for which reason they are filing a prosecution. You are not a lawyer. I'm not going to a legal issue. But if we are to be consistent on the criticism around how the financial sector cleanup was done, is it fair to the economy for a case to be discontinued on the basis of a 60% payment of a 5.7 billion CD case? You are here looking for money to build roads. Did they ask you before they agreed to that? thing?
So, first of all, you may have to wait for the Attorney General to bring how much they've been able to recover and all before we go into the merit of the matter. I know tomorrow, I think Monday, he's going to have a brief and address the matter and be able to give details. But I'll wait. I don't know the details of which the work is done. But let me say this. Yes, if I was in charge at the time, my approach may be different. My approach may be different in the sense that instead of spending in excess of 30 billion Ghana cedis to collapse banks, I would have rather acquired the banks maybe compulsory. And I may end up saving. I may end up spend less, maybe a third of this amount to save those banks And by now, I would have gotten my money back. I've injected about 2 billion cedis into the National Investment Bank. I've saved 900 jobs. Not only 900 jobs, I've saved depositors' capital of the depositors' fund of 6.4 billion cedis. That 6.4 billion, know what would have happened if I had collapsed NIB? I would have ended up paying that 6.4 billion cedis to depositors because they would have come cap in hand chasing government to refund their money to them. Okay, and all of this would have been a liability because probably I may not be able to recover that 6.4 billion from the IMF, from the NIB. So I will have to. That would have been a problem on me. Today I have fully capitalized them. They've begun making profit. In fact, they've already posted first half profit of 74 million. By end of the year, they'll be posting about 150 million plus. I expect dividend from them. Maybe not year one.
So the NIB story is clear.
And so the story is clear. And so I'm saying that the approach is what we are talking about. I would prefer to spend and save a bank than to spend and collapse a bank.
Fair enough.
And that I can do that.
As a government, you inherit good and bad. There are a number of people who are asking me to ask you that customers of savings and loans companies that went down after the cleanup are still unable to access their funds. For example, Bond Financial Services. Also, some of the companies, like customers of companies like First Fund, over 24,000 individuals, estimated total fund value of 170 million cedis since the revocation of First Bank's license in 2019, facing significant challenges in retrieving locked up funds. Are you minded to also look into the issue of the payments to people whose monies were encumbered by that particular 2017-2018 activity?
I think the first thing is that they should use the recovered asset to pay for this depositors fund. That's the first thing. It's a private bank, and they have assets. They have for some reason collapsed those banks, and if they have assets, they should recover those assets and use it to pay. And that is supposed to be the first thing to have been done. I don't know the extent of this, but I will, since I'm hearing about this, I'm going to ask questions and I'll get to the bottom of it. But I don't know the details for me to give full
time
detail about that.
Why did you end the budget by mentioning the prices of specific products? Kokunte and all those things.
Yes, and
I'm sure you like Kokunte.
He likes
it. I know. And it's good I've seen you here. You like Kokunte.
It's
like that. Then I should have picked that one.
Yes, it's very important. And Govt.
Oh, you like Govt? Okay. But you see, it may sound a bit on a lighter side, but it's a lot more. A lot more because for me, at the personal level, I felt prices of certain important commodities are too high and making life very unbearable for the ordinary Ghanaian, like rice. I mean, Ghana will consume rice a lot, like chicken, like oil and all. And so I was very concerned about the prices, and I'm a village MP. I'm a village MP, and I've been MP for the people of Ejuma Kwenye Nesiam in the last 17 years. I relate to my people. They tell me the situation, what they are going through, particularly with high prices, and the fact that their take-home pay cannot be able to sustain their families. So prices was something special to me, and I needed to make sure that we'll do things in a way that prices will come down, inflation in particular. And so it was, for me, a moment of reflection, pointing to the fact that we inherited prices at this level, and prices are coming down, and I'm happy, and I want it to go down even further. And I pleaded also to the traders that I recognize that they suffered also during the difficult times. But if the realities of the economy today is pointing to a reduced price, they should pass it on for the ordinary Ghanaian to also be happy. And so I brought it down, and also to recognize that yes, prices are coming down, but I still think it can be better than what it is. And that is why I made that point.
Your next budget is in November. Hopefully we'll speak to you again.
Thank you.
So we thank you for attending upon this program.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. That was Ato Forson, MP for Ejuma Kwenye Nesiam, and also Minister of Finance, giving us a lot of things to chew on for the 2024 mid-year budget review program.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.